Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, not a trace. Hooked out in my mind, I'm in love. I'm a believer, I couldn't leave her if I tried. Yes, I saw her face. Now I'm a believer, I'm not a trace. Hooked out in my mind, said I'm a believer, yeah, 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 yeah. Said I'm a believer, yeah, I'm a believer. Said I'm a believer.
Nice.
You're a rich girl and you're gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a bitch girl, but it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. Say money, money won't get you too far, get you too far. And don't you know that it's wrong, to take what is given you, so far gone on your own. But you can get along, you can try to be strong, but you'll never be strong, 'cause you're a rich girl and you're gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a bitch girl and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. So money, money won't get you too far, get you too far. High and dry, out of the rain. It's so easy to hurt others when you can't feel pain. And don't you know that a love can't grow? 'Cause it's too much to give, 'cause you gotta live for the thrill of it all. Oh, you're a rich girl and you're gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. And you can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a bitch girl and it's gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. Yeah. Say money, money won't get you too far. Say money, money won't get you too far. Say money, money won't get you too far, get you too far. And you say you can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. You're a rich girl, a rich girl. Oh, you're a rich, rich girl, yeah. Say money, money won't get you too far.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, and then I'll watch them roll away again. Yeah, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
How's everybody doing? Hi. 2, 3. It's magic. Happy New Year to those that I did not see last week. Mr. Oscar, Happy New Year. So, and welcome back to the Kings who've been traveling all over the world, it seems. Welcome back. Welcome back. I know that I've got Jill Maxon is down in Costa Rica right now.
No, she's in Costa Rica.
Puerto Rico.
Susan was in Costa Rica.
Well, no, I just got a text from her. Standing in front of a waterfall.
Yeah.
Could be a lot. But I'm kidding. Life by design, right? Life by design. This is why we work. We don't work just to work. We don't serve our clients just to serve our clients. We serve our clients so we can have a life by design. Life worth living. Yes. Yes. Poor Marinelli just the first time just went away to college, and so I had to check on her to make sure her mama's heart was good. So y'all give a little love to Marinelli. It's always hard when your babies go, right, Kurt? Yeah. All right. And welcome. Nice to see you this morning. All right. Those of you who have been, who have just come on board and you don't really know anybody, I see you, Christina. So you guys stand up, introduce yourselves to everybody so that everyone can know you and say hi to you. Christina, we'll start with you in the back.
Christina Huffman Sullivan, not through the real estate, but getting back into it, for years.
Yeah.
All right.
Next. Is that it? That's it? Okay. Welcome. All right, let's get started. We have got a full agenda. So y'all, I have never seen Precious's hair straighten. You'll look awesome. That's beautiful. Go really fast. You know, when I go fast, if you need me to slow down, just like do timeout or something and say, girl, just slow down. Good morning, Rana. You guys, thank you for coming out in the rain. Good morning, everybody on Zoom. Hope you guys are doing well. Those of you who are on Zoom, since we're terrible at watching the chat, if you have something to say, just like yell into the microphone and we'll get you. So good morning. All right, gratitude. Who is grateful for something today? Wow. Okay, Joycelyn, what you got?
I am grateful for the opportunity to serve such a wonderful outcome. You called me when I was eating.
You know, I'm good at that.
I know you really are, like a dentist, right?
I know.
But so grateful to be able to work and serve an office like this that's wanting to grow everybody. I thank you for your leadership. I thank you for last week. We got some great nuggets at our conference. So just happy to be here for another year. Looking forward to working with everyone.
Yeah, we're so happy. Who are you? Joycelyn is one of our agent leadership council. You're gonna meet a few of them this morning. So come on in, babe, front row. I promise not to spit on you. Well, I don't promise not to spit on you, but all right, thank you for that. And a Hershey's Kiss coming your way. All right, so ready? Woo! Nice. Not do my pictures thing. All right, who's next? Something that you're grateful for. All right, who? I need two more. I got two more. Sissy, go for it.
As Joycelyn said, same thing, grateful to serve the office, have the opportunity to listen to Rivers over this past week with incredible. So I'm just grateful that, our market center brings us up.
You're welcome. You guys are gonna hear a little bit about that. For those of you who don't know who this strange person is that everybody's referring to, Gene Rivers. Gene Rivers, is in, North Florida, Tallahassee. I don't know how many market centers he has, seven market centers. Everything that they had got wiped out in the hurricane in, what was that, 2010?
Yeah.
Something, right, 9 or 10? And they literally started over. So he has a very successful team. And you guys, I wish every one of you, oh my gosh, we wish every one of you could have been there. You're gonna hear some ahas from some of the ALC members today because, wow, it was, I got back to the hotel room and I looked at Scott and I said, he just laid out a business plan like I have never heard it laid out. And he never even called it a business plan. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So we're gonna share a little bit about that today. So Sissy, here come, share if you don't want it. Oh, what a terrible toss that was. Okay, one more, I got one more kiss. So great. Go for it.
For this office and every single one of you, because after dealing with another sister office in another state, the level of professionalism, responsiveness, friendliness, and all of the good things comes from here. Everything else that I have dealt with that office, it's been terrible. So thanks to all of you for being always just very, very responsive to your clients and to your fellow agents.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Myra. That's awesome. All right, you guys, thank you for everything starts with gratitude. It really does. And so thank you for that. Okay, Mark. Okay, I had a chance. Come on up, Mark, Joe. So I had a chance to meet Mark last month. No, a couple of months ago now, and Mark came forward with a really unique business. And so we're going to hear a little bit from them. You're going to have questions. So listen up because these guys are awesome and I can't wait for you to hear their product. Go ahead. This is Mark and this is Joe with Grand Welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for lunch.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. I'm grateful for being here. No need to toss me a kiss. So Grand Welcome is a vacation rental management company. So this is Airbnb and VRBO type properties. We have the capability of putting a property on 30 different travel websites and manage it through one portal. So the bookings and everything, individual investor trying to manage the bookings themselves, it's hard to even put it on 2 websites, let alone multiple. So this is why we're here. But the reason why I'm here at Keller Williams is because we have a tremendous relationship with realtors. First of all, we offer a realtor referral program where if you refer us a property owner, we give $1,000 commission on a 1 to 3 bedroom and $1,500 over 3 bedroom. But the real value in what we bring to your office is to help you analyze properties, to make you look good as we put together a projection for that property that shows you what the monthly revenue would be. Our revenue projection team has 40 years of experience. They're out of California, but they have 40 years of experience in analyzing vacation rentals all around the country. And what they do is they pull actual market comps. They buy data from the website so that they know what the property would generate as a vacation rental. So if you're the listing agent and you want to send this out to every agent that you know that works with investors, I could put your picture, your information on it. And you can send that out to make sure you get the best price for that property owner by exposing it to the market. If you are a selling agent and you want to compare multiple properties so that you could give your buyer the best advice possible, we want to help you do that. So we're happy to be here, happy to be partnered with you. I started working with a few agents here a couple of months ago, and it's been going great. And what I want to do is help you sell more property so that your person that you refer to me will want to do another one, because we're going to do a great professional job. A lot of people that are in this business, they're not local. They're relying on maid service, a maid vendor to kind of do the property management, which ends up getting bad reviews for that property. And the whole goal for that owner is to have great reviews so that the property rents well. Anyway, that's why we're here. I'm going to have brochures and cards available to you. I'm just going to put this on, if you want to put one on each table to pass that.
Yeah, let me, real quickly too, we also have many resources availability. One of them is called a vacation rental analysis. It's an annual revenue projection. So say if you have an investor that has the properties they're gonna buy, you know, say, call, say, Joe, Mark, this is the address, we can run it and we get you an annual revenue projection for your owner too, which is a really nice tool to have.
That's what I was most impressed with, when you came and talked with us
Right.
about that analysis right there. So if you have a client that wants to, either they purchase something for short-term rental or they're interested in that,
Correct.
this is a tool that they're putting together with the pro formas based on
Correct.
what you know the rental
Right.
projections can be.
Now, we use price labs and they're very pretty much spot on and accurate, but at the end of the day, you or your owner can set your minimum rates. You're still in control, but this gives you a really good
What's your
idea.
turnaround time? Can you reach out to them, share a problem?
Onboarding process.
No, she's saying for the projection, I would say, 3 days, three days to be, sometimes it could be 24 hours, but it depends
Yeah.
on what time of
If
the
it falls on the
day.
weekend, it might be Monday, but generally 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
I've looked at price labs a little bit. Are they, do they account for seasonality?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, this
Yeah.
gives you a.
Great question.
I'm sorry, but the flyer that I passed out gives you a monthly,
Yes.
so
Right.
it shows you by month what it would
Yeah.
generate, and that's based on actual rental.
Right. I have a house in Athens, you know, I grew up in Athens and big dog fan, and I leased one out for UGA events, football games, huge weekends, graduations, family orientations, spring game. So yes, they do take into account of that. Okay. Okay, good, good.
Here, we will include that in the slides today,
Okay.
and everybody will get these slides at the end of the afternoon, the entire office book. So if you'll leave those, we'll scan them in, and that way everybody has them, the entire office. Yeah, you're done. You're done. Anything else?
No, thank you, people. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, just pass them out. You go ahead and pass them out. Yeah. All right, so I have real quick, I've got a gift. I have a gift.
Yes.
It's not read this one. Okay, all right, here you go, because you're gonna be hearing a little bit later from your ALC that went last week, and you're gonna learn a little bit about some of the things that we learned about wealth and investing. So, so who wants this book?
I do.
Right? Yes, every one of you should. Okay, so here's my question. It's got to be a kind of a difficult question. So, all right, and I will have to tell on us just a little bit. Every year, Andy brings the MREA quiz. MREA. And so this time I'm like, I'm sending the MREA quiz to the whole ALC. We're gonna win this thing because we compete with the other two market centers. So I'm like, we're gonna bang. We're gonna win, didn't I? Right? It was like, we're doing this MREA quiz. We're studying and everything. Yeah. The day before we left, got a notice that, no, it's gonna be on shift instead. Instead, I'm not bitter at all. I'm not bitter at all. Don't say that on my quiz, I got 76 and one person got 80. That person shall remain unnamed in this market center. Because I can't stand being number two. I hate being number two. One loser. What are, now this one's a little hard. Okay, ALC, you can't answer this, by the way. This is from the MREA. Mentors can too. MREA. Are ready? What are the 3 key areas of the economic model? And for those of you who were here last week, I had Trent come up. I'm giving you lots of hints. I had Trent come up and we started with GCI, closed units, appointments held, appointments set, and number of people that he needed to contact. I've just given you some great hints. What are the 3 key areas of the economic model? For those of you who don't know what the economic model is if I were to start a coffee shop, Susan, which would be just like Pops without the motorcycles, I'm sure. If you and I were to start a coffee shop, we would need to know how many cups of coffee we would sell at the end of the day to make sure we pay rent and payroll. Economic model. How much does that cup of coffee cost? How much do the beans cost? How much does the milk that we're gonna crop cost? Economic model. We're not talking budget. We're talking how much we have to have. All right, now I've given you so many hints. So ready? First, the top 3 key areas of the economic model. Go. Raise your hand if you know. Oh my gosh. Okay, precious. She's got one of them. Okay, yes. Conversion rate. Conversion rate. All right, give me that one. Come on. You guys.
What was the first one?
She said, how many appointments she has to make. She said conversion ratio. Last one. Go, no. Trent, go. Nope. Numbers. Go for it, dollars.
Expenses?
Close, nope. Nope. Okay, ready? The 3 key areas are numbers. How many leads do you have to set appointments with? And then set appointments and then conversion ratio. Y'all stink at this. Okay, I'm gonna ask an easy one. Okay, this is super easy for this amazing book. Are you ready? You got this. Okay, what are the 4 laws of lead gen? 4 laws of lead gen, and I'll give you the first one. It starts with a B. And if you want a house from bottom up, you would what? You would hire a contract to build it. Yes.
Okay. What? Okay, isn't that nurture?
Build, feed.
It could be in a K. Okay, hold on. What is it? Bring it up.
After you communicate with everybody, you're gonna get what? And you do what with those appointments? Nicely done, nicely done. I feel like a dentist would go in and see you, man. That was tough. Wow, that was tough, you guys. So good, so good. All right. Kathy Vitale is not here today. She is going to present. She and her team were number 2 in the entire country. Wow. She's going to present at the big company, company-wide thing. And so, so here's what we're going to do. So mortgage rates moved to the lowest levels in 4 months last week after the release of Thursday's CPI report. CPI stands for? Mortgage News Daily's conforming 30-year fixed rate dropped from 6.2 to 6.09. And Consumer Price Index has really been a catalyst for both higher and lower interest rates over the past year, as you can see in this graph. So obviously, we're seeing as the CPI goes up, guess what? Average 30-year fixed. All right, now, we've got 2023 economic outlook. This is going to be on the 25th. I got it. And 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Wednesday, January 25th. Some of you are going to shift into Thrive at the Southeast Regional event. You guys go ahead and register because and queue in here because it will be recorded. Register it so you can get the recording. Is that right, Leah? Did I just say that right?
No.
You can't. It's not going to be recorded.
No.
Okay, so
Yeah, that's what's going on.
1 hour, 1 hour. And this is the economic forecast for 2023. I will be on this. That's how important this stuff is. Okay. The other news, I'm not even going to go through all of this. It will be in your notes. So basically that here's what I want you to notice is that by the end of the year with the 30-year fixed rate, they estimate it coming back down to around 5.2. All this other information, that's great. Read it later. 5.2 by the end of the year. Yay. Filing for homestead exemption. If you would like your beautiful picture and your name right here, please let Kathy and Tammy know, and they will brand this flyer. This should be going out to your people now. Homestead exemptions. They expire in March and April, depending on the county. This is a great touch for your people. Great touch. Okay. Go.
Tammy's coming back to Roswell, right?
You can send it to those that are not even your, like, that you close it, whatever side you're on, that other agent might not be doing that, and it's fair game, and if they know you're providing value, you might have another client there or somebody that's looking out for you, because we are the people that they should be looking out for information, and they see you at the end.
Yeah, I will echo that 100 times, Cynthia. Send this out to every property address, whether you list it or whether you and when you sold it, right? It should go out to every single property address. Can I tell you a little secret? That's exactly what the top teams do. That is exactly, do you hear that? That is exactly what the top teams do. You closed it, Precious, with a top team in a different office. And guess what? Your client's information is now in their database. Transactions done. Do what the big teams do, right? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, I say. All right, good. Okay, Kern Schwartz, everybody give our
I'm Kern Schwartz with O'Kelly and Sorahan. So we are your attorney alliance partner. I'm also talking about homestead exemptions. Okay, so for those of you who are new, this is how it works. All right, if your client buys a property this year, if there's a homestead exemption as of January 1st that the seller had, your buyer gets to take advantage of that because the taxes will have that homestead exemption on there. They can apply for it year round, but it's due by April 1st of the tax year. So if they bought last year, they have to apply by April 1st to make it effective for this year's taxes. Okay, generally speaking, your clients only have to do it once. As long as it is their primary residence, they can continue to keep that, right? But if they have a title transfer, usually for refinance, that's not going to destroy a homestead exemption. But somebody comes off the title, somebody comes on, they have a name change, for example, always a good idea to contact the county. And then check the cities too. Some cities have them. For Fulton, a lot of them, it's automatically applied for when you apply for Fulton County. A lot of the counties now, you cannot even see their application and what they ask for, unfortunately, because you have to go in and just create a login and apply for it online. But Fulton County has a great homestead exemption guide that you can send to your clients. That goes through all the different ones. Okay, senior exemptions, those are subject to an income limitation, really. So like, send those out to your clients, even if they haven't purchased, because they may be eligible for something like that. There's a disabled veterans exemption as well. There's different ones that may apply to them other than just the basic homestead. So just know that when we close a deal every single time, at the end of the closing, those of you who've closed with me a lot know this, you probably can say my whole speech, but I will make a copy of the deed. I will give that to them. Some counties ask for recording information, so I'll tell them that we'll send a letter to them when we send them the original deed, recorded deed, and a reminder letter for their homestead exemption. I usually tell them, don't file it away until you've applied for it, and that way you won't forget, because you do have until April 1st. There are a couple of counties still that you have to go in person. Some of the outer counties, closed one this morning in Union. I don't know with them if it's an in-person, but Cherokee still is. And Forsyth has the option of doing it online now. They were in person for years, but they have changed that. So different counties have different applications and different things that they need. Some of them want a copy of the deed. Some of them want the recorded information, the deed. Generally, your license is going to have to be changed with your new address. Your car is registered in the county. So they have some time generally to do that. Any questions about homestead? Adam?
If you have homestead on your property and then you move and put held onto the property as a rental property, how do you let the county know?
So yes, you'll contact the county, right? So if you, for that year, it'll still be as you owned it on January 1st, you'll still have the exemption. Okay. But then once you close, the applications ask you if you can only have one. So you can't have more than one primary residence, right? So even if it's in a different county, they moved from a different part of the state and they're still keeping that property as a rental property, they need to transfer that. You can be subject to penalties if you don't. So if you continue to claim it for a while during the downturn, counties were actually doing audits of those and going back and assessing fines. So you'll owe past due taxes plus a fine if you do that. But you just contact the county. It's a new application and you tell, if you're moving within Fulton, for example, I think you'll do the application, you'll give them your old address, they'll take it off of that property and apply it to your new one. Good question. Yes,
The couple was going through divorce. They both sold the main house, both bought their own primary residence, but the divorce is not technically final. But you're saying that they're married and considered one, so can they both now claim homestead exemptions separately, even though the divorce is not final?
If it was their if it was their primary residence on January, they can keep it on there for this year.
You know what I mean? They sold the primary and now they both have their own primary,
And now that'll be now they'll apply for their new properties.
but they're still married.
It's okay. Yeah, they'll apply for their new property.
All right, is there any property you should only be in each of them as individuals?
Yes. Yes, and they may want to wait until their divorce is final to do that. But yeah, the counties they'll also, they'll talk to you. And answer questions for anything like that and check it for you. Okay?
Any other questions? Thank you, Karen.
On there too, and just so you know, these are not clickable links. It's a right click link because they're long. So you right click it, it'll take you right to the county's information.
This will be sent out in your slides this afternoon. Again, you've got this one from Shelter. You've got this one from O'Kelly and Soran. There's no excuse. Get it out. It's a great touch. Great touch. All right, we've got one more vendor that that we're going to hear from today, and that is Promove. Come on in. Come on in. Owen, and we've got David. So I heard a little bit about these. Leah had actually brought them. Leah, do you want to introduce them?
Sure. We met them at Happiness Career Night and have a great opportunity. A lot of you have known Promove, but this new agent program gives you an opportunity. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but an income opportunity, and also to fill your pipeline, because what is it? 35% of tenants become home buyers
15% of renters become home buyers in the next year.
in the first year, and they'll let you know before it expires. Once you place them, you get it. You get income opportunity when you place them. They do all the work, and then you'll know within 90 days, I believe, of when it's going to be the leases expire, so you can get on there and get them and see if they're qualified at that time. It's just a great way to not lose a client, right?
Awesome. So Owen, David, you guys take it away.
Great. Well, thank you very much for having us today. My name is Oleg Konstantinovsky. I'm the broker manager for Promove. This is my associate, David, and we wanted to tell her I don't say much. We're really happy to be here today. How many people are familiar with Promove? How many people have used Promove? Fantastic. Thank you very much. We are Atlanta's largest apartment locating service. We've been in the business here since 1990, so starting our 33rd year in business. And our business is to help renters find apartments to lease. And one thing that is out of reach of real estate agents is commissions for rentals in most apartments, because most apartments don't pay real estate agents. And over the years, we've had more and more agents reach out to us and say, hey, I have this client, they're not ready to buy yet, they need to rent. Can you help me with that? And it's really, there's been so much, inquiry about that over the past year that we thought, why don't we make this available for all real estate agents? So what we did is we created, you can think of this as an apartment MLS for all real estate agents, where now you can use the Promove contracts, the Promove compliance, all of the information that we have and all the relationships that we have with the apartment to make money for yourself. Because before this, the number one thing that real estate agents hated to do was what? Rentals, right? Hate rentals. Why is that? Well, the FMLS isn't great. There's very limited, information there, and the commissions are really, really small. You have to show the place. You have to write the contract. There's a lot of work involved, and not a lot of reward. And so you just kind of give up on those. Well, now we have a way to do this, and I know I have very limited time, but what you can do, I think Trent signed up today, and he already ran a search. He's going to find himself his own apartment. He's going to collect his own commission on his own apartment. You can do that, by the way. But what this does is allows you to run customized searches of rentals, apartment rentals for your clients, email them the information, have your client go through, pick their favorites. You can contact the apartments on their behalf to verify unit availability. You don't have to escort. You can just send them to the apartments. The client has to let the apartments know that they're being referred by Keller Williams agent with the Promove apartment marketplace. Promove is the key because all the contracts and all of the commissions flow through Promove. So once your client leases and moves in, Promove sends an invoice to the property and we pay your broker your commissions. The commissions are great. So for example, each apartment that we have here, the commission is clearly written. If you get a lease here, $3,005, the commission is anywhere from $865 on the low end up to $2,040 on the high end.
That's great.
Really, really significant commissions, but that's not the best part of this. It's about creating relationships of success with your clients. You may have somebody call you and say, hey, I'm not ready to buy yet, but I need to rent. Well, now you have an opportunity to create income for yourself and build a relationship with that client, because that client will be a purchaser at the end of the year or next year. Also, apartments, if they sign a 15-month lease, for example, you don't need to wait 15 months to reach out to that client again. You can continue on your touch programs. You can continue sending them information about the market. You can continue sending them information about new construction and existing homes that are out there that might be a good fit. Because I'm sorry, my mistake. 95% of apartments have a policy where you can terminate the lease with a 60-day notice. It's going to take 45 to 60 days to close the deal typically. And you have to pay a 1-month penalty. Well, your client doesn't pay the first mortgage until a month and a half after the closing. So there's not any kind of a double payment there. And with the shift in the market, maybe that's an opportunity for you to be able to have the seller post the cost of that, to help that. But I don't.
Yeah, one thing I want to add real quick. Go ahead.
So when you say this is set up like the MLS, as I see it there, showing the commission, if we have a client we're working with, we can go in, do the search and send it to the client.
That's right.
Seeing a client view.
Your client is gonna see this exactly
So
the same
they'll
that you're
see the
seeing it
commission.
without the commission.
That's what it says. So
Yes,
there's a
yeah,
client.
the client will not see the
Okay.
commission. Yeah, client side, we hide a little bit in there. But we don't have a lot of time to show this, but I think David is gonna be doing a training session where he can really dive in and help you guys learn how to do this. It's a really robust system. We've invested a lot into it to help you guys create additional opportunities for yourself.
Yeah, so we've launched Keller Williams, North Atlanta, North Metro. We're gonna be launching Chattahoochee. We now have, I guess in the offices that we've launched, we have over 2,000 some odd agents that we've trained. But the reality is, I'd like to give this one story. We have 2 people at Keller Williams Peachtree that are just, they got it. They got the fact that these co-ops would be $800 to $1,000. And this team of 2 built, keep me honest, $17,000 to $20,000 in December.
And that's in revenue, so they got half of that.
Yeah,
So $10,000.
$10,000 in December. I mean, this is not a big moving month, and they're gonna probably make $10,000 to $15,000 in addition during the summer. But the best part, as Oleg said, is that they are going to have 40 to 50 people that they placed in an apartment home with a 15 to 20% chance. So the reality is they're gonna close about 10 to 15 homes with an average price of whatever it is, 400,000. So we're paying you on the front end, but also on the back end, the pipeline development is massive. So we're here to help you. Oleg and I, this is all we do. So we're gonna have these training sessions. When we get that.
And is this just Georgia? Just confirming.
Pardon?
Just Georgia?
This is just Georgia. Yes, sir.
Is the rent higher if people use Promove than if they just went up by themselves?
You cannot charge a different rent based on where your referral's coming from. That's a huge violation of, fair housing and trust. Yeah.
Yeah, we make
It's the
50% of
it's
1
the
month
same.
rent. That's how we get paid. So we place somebody in an apartment, it's a $2,000 apartment, Promover's $1,000.
And then you get 50% of that. Yes, ma'am.
Are these just apartments or do you guys rent out houses as well?
These are just the professionally managed apartments. Yes.
Adam?
I was just gonna say, when I started out, I worked for Charlesworth Realty. which
Yeah.
is a thing, and you really can make a lot of money doing this on the side, and I've sold houses to probably 7 to 10 renters that I followed up with, so it is a good opportunity. I'm glad that you're helping me.
You work with Amanda. That's fantastic. Yeah.
He works for Keller Williams.
I'm actually an associate broker with Keller Williams North Atlanta as well. So yeah, so Amanda and I work very closely together. But yes, if you do 50 rentals this year, that's going to be likely 40 to 50,000 extra dollars that you're going to make. But that's going to translate into 15 sales next year, which at 3%, $180,000 based on the average. Yeah, that's your potential, is creating these relationships and building your pipeline.
Really, that's, we talk about database, we talk about the 201 club, right? And these are people that you're putting into your database, you're nurturing them, you're doing that long-term. And it used to be, 15, 20 years ago, rentals were like no big deal. You'd get 1 month of rent. You look in that MLS now and rentals are like, you're lucky to do $150 or $200 in your, in a co-op fee. So this is a really great solution. Thank you guys for presenting. Go ahead, Diane, one more question and we got to go.
You said when you send this out to make sure you get paid, you have to say what?
You have to make sure that the client tells the community that the referral is coming through Promove. And there's a button here where it says register my client, and you can send an email directly to the property. It'll have your name and your client's name on there.
Awesome. You guys, they will be back. They're gonna hang out, ask some more questions. Oleg, thank you so much, David. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, we've got some upcoming events and really those people are at night. Let's go. We've got a stage class on Wednesday. Wealth building with Aubrey this afternoon. He'll be here at 1 o'clock. For those of you who do not know Aubrey Bailey is our general manager. At one time, he flipped like 43 houses. He knows what he's talking about with investments. He's going to talk a little bit more about what we learned over, last week in the middle of a tornado. That was fun. So anyway, that's going to come up at 1 o'clock today. And the other thing is, fill your pipeline through open houses is next Monday. This is where you guys are going to come in, Promove?
Yes.
Yep. Is that on the 23rd or the 30th? 30th. That's on the 30th.
The 23rd is our contract CE.
Yeah, we'll fix that. All right, so please do come with that. Happy birthday to those, everybody. Say one big happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. All right, you guys, market update. Here we go. How is the market? Rolling 3 weeks activity. We got 924 active listings. Remember, this is not new listings. You get your new listings every day. These are active listings right now, 924. These are pending 684 this last 7 days. Okay, so 924, 684. Okay, the last one, 475 for closed units. Now, remember, I've talked to you about this since we started. Couple of things. We used to pull only detached homes, and we also used to pull all of FMLS area, which goes from the Alabama state line to the coast. Well, I don't know. Do you go down to Henry? I mean, where do you go all the way to Savannah and sell houses? Right? Do we sell houses? Not really. So
Go to the mountain.
the mountains, we love the mountains, right? So this actually changed to be the greater Atlanta area, which consists of 11 counties. All of our counties that we serve are in there, plus Rockdale and Fayette are the only two that's like, I don't know how many of us, and we don't really sell a whole lot there, but that's what FMLS considers the greater Atlanta area. So remember, we've got low inventory, do we not?
Yes.
Low inventory. What is the solution for low inventory?
Get more listings.
Yeah, more listings. This is exactly what this is January 17th. This is your new listings. We got 112. It was first day after holiday, so I like to see that 112 new listings. And we're looking at about a 6.09, 2.6 months of inventory. I feel like a weather girl.
Oh.
Weather girl. All right. So how are we doing? Sellers are getting 96.3% of their list price. Median days on market is 43 days. Got 2.6 months of inventory. Still, average price is about 420,000. Distressed sales are still less than 0.5% of market. And of course, we are at around 6.2% interest rate. Why do you ask? So when people ask, and you say you're a realtor, don't tell them you're a real estate agent looking for listings. How can I help you? Who do you know that I need to know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? You know I'm going to slap you if you say that, unless that's what you normally say. So you know what I'm going to tell you is that you find out what they're doing, who they are, what their life is all about, and then they say, well, what do you do, Michael? Michael says, I help people build wealth. Somebody goes, you a financial plan? Or have portfolios in real estate than any other thing. So you better believe you help people build wealth, right? And they go, oh, well, Michael, how's the market? Market is fascinating. I love that word. Anne came up with that word. Anne came up with that word. The market is fascinating because when you say something is fascinating, everybody wants to know what's so fascinating about it. It's not what I hear on TV, right? Okay. Last week we went through the lead gen model. We're not going to go over this again, but we didn't get a chance to finish. So how many of you did your homework and came up with your 4 lead sources? Wah, wah. Diana did. All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take literally, this shouldn't take more than 20 seconds. I'm going to count. No talking. Write down your 4 lead sources right now. What are your 4 lead sources? You should know it and be able to write it in 20 seconds. Who's done? Go, 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 go. Raise your hand if you're done. Raise your hand. All right, good. So if you are having a hard time coming up with your lead sources, I would suggest you have a conversation with Dan Scoggins. Right? So our wonderful productivity coach, because look, the rule of 4, 82% of your business comes from only 4 sources. So I want you to, when I was in production, this is no whiteboard, no markers. Oh, good. Okay, when I was in production, this is what I tracked on my whiteboard. How many of you love whiteboards?
Yes.
Okay. How many of you have them in your office? Good. I love whiteboards. Okay. So name, property address. Okay. Price of home, GCI, source, close date. Ooh, look at there, a whole column for where that lead came from. So at any given time, you can glance up at that and you can see if you've got 50% of your buyers coming from open houses. Hello, guess you should do open houses more. Well, what if only 0.5% came from door knocking? Did you knock on doors if you don't have a good conversion ratio there? Probably not. You won't know what your lead source, which one is most profitable and most productive unless you're tracking it, right? Okay, so 82% comes from 4 lead sources. You've already written this out. Why is it so important? Because you drop everybody in the data bank. We drop everybody in the data bank. And then we systematically communicate, which is number 3 on our build it, feed it, communicate, and then service all the leads. So in your database, there are 3 things. By the way, this is going to be sent out to you. You've got a 19 to connect, a 1 to submit, and a 36 to convert. How many of you have downloaded the 36 touch program? Raise your hands high if you have done it. This is the easiest thing ever to do. You go into command. You go into smart plans, little icon on the left, right? Then you go into library and you put in Sam Jackson's name and click author. And boom, it comes up. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, 36 touch program. They're awesome. It's that easy. You bring it into your own library and there's a little icon up at the top, Oscar, that has where you get to add contacts. How about that? And when you do that, boom, all your contacts pull up just like that. Boom.
Boom.
Bam.
Boom.
Ow. So it's so easy, you guys. And then guess what? That newsletter, it's beautiful, goes out every month. You don't even have to do anything with it. It just goes out to your clients or your people that you've met. And then it prompts you of when you're supposed to send them a text and what the text is supposed to say. And what the God will be able to do it before you see that. There you go. That's right, right?
There's things that I don't understand on it, Robin. Who do we talk to now that that's running? I'm getting messages that are saying, things that, it's kind of like someone responded and then I click the link and it doesn't take me anywhere. So
I would talk to Sam. Sam and Lucy, they both worked on that. Okay, all right, good. Okay, because why is this important? Why is the 201 Club important? Because if we follow this, who wants to make at least 100,000? I mean, every hand should be raised. You didn't get into real estate for 30 grand a year, did you? You gotta be a Walmart greeter for 30 grand a year and not work nearly as hard as you do. You got in the business to make money, right, Valerie? So, all right, so, and then guess what? Why is it so important for the database? This is the most awful screenshot ever. But guess what? If you can get your people up to 100, to 2,000, now, guess what? You get to be, if you get 2,000 people in your database, you're making 240. You get 5,000 plus, you're making at least 352,000. Don't be one of those agents who say, I didn't keep in touch with my clients. Because then when your client, you see it listed on Economizer, feels like punching the gun. It's the worst.
but no one, right?
It's like a punch in the gut, not a punch in the face. Okay, so why is this so important? Why do we spend time on lead gen? What?
Good job.
It's your job, it's your data bank, it's your job. Lead generation is your job. Servicing the leads is what we get to do, but lead gen is where we get our people.
Can I share something on lead gen? So I was lucky enough to be in Costa Rica this last week. You think like they're gonna be doing business in Costa Rica? Like,
you.
But with a group of 8 of us, I created 3 opportunity transactions. Boom.
One in Costa Rica or here?
One in Panama, one in California, one in Oregon, and actually a 4th one in Ohio.
Okay, let's play. That's all.
So much fun, I won't lie, because these were all my friends, my dear friend's birthday who were there for her kids. And we were in the pool with cocktails and they were like, tell us more. I want to know some properties. I want to buy my first house. I want to do this. It was the best tingly feeling. I can't. Like I'm pretty. Yeah, like I did that.
How many dollars are we tingling about?
A lot. Girls, I hooked them up with someone, like 2 of them had appointments before we left the house. Wow.
So
To
if
visit,
we
see
had
properties and rent.
$1 million of real estate.
Yeah.
That would be $30,000 of commission based on 3%, and 25% of that, you just made about $7,500 sipping cocktails.
Minimum.
Just pay for the.
I told my mom drinking would pay off.
Said you'd never amount to anything. And there we go, and there we go, that's right. Right, so it is important, So, so how many of you saw on Facebook the video that Heather Hare did?
Depends on which video.
The bowl. That was great. Go on Facebook and check it out. All right, I know that sometimes y'all get tired of hearing us say this, but Bold is an intense coaching session that lasts for 7 weeks, and the first week is free. We pay anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500 per month for MAPS coaching. We do. And yet, I mean, I've been in coaching since 2015, honey, 2016, and it works. But it's $1,000 or $1,500 per month for 4 sessions, right? You get half an hour, right, Sissy? You get half an hour a week.
Guaranteed.
Right? And that's
guaranteed.
right. And that's 2 hours per month at $1,000. It's $250 an hour.
Dustin won't be a bold.
And Dustin is a bold coat. He is a bold coat, right? He's in the redshirt program. We're really proud of him. So bold gets you business, period, end of story, mic drop. It does. It just does. Why? Because you're doing the activities that produce the results. Plus, we're gonna give you back $200 per closing, up to 2 closings. It can be half price. It's $800. Here's what I want you to do. Listen to the people that are, you know, 5, 6, 4 times bold, 1 time bold, 8 time bold. I think I'm like 10 times bold. Guys, do bold. It works. Bold panel, you guys come on up here. Everybody, welcome our bold panel. I don't have pictures up here, but you know who you are. All right.
You know, I didn't see my new purple sweater for Thursday to wear to bold, but I always have a bow around. I mean, don't you?
All right, girl, I just bought a whole suit, a purple suit. Wait till I wear it.
You know, it's a fun color too. It's a powerful color, which is what, of course, you're always.
Yes. All right, you guys, why should they take bold? It's a lot of money, especially to somebody who's new. So talk to us.
Well, first of all, you have to invest in yourself. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things out there that you can be spending your money on in real estate. How many shiny things do we see on a daily basis? Oh, this new market is guaranteed leads. You're getting 50 leads a month. I was just on the phone with a guy this morning. Only 750 a month. I'm like, oh, sounds like a great deal, but not for me. Thanks. You know, it's important to invest in yourself. And because we do get the money back too with your closings, you know, that makes it really, what is that? That's $350 for a class. And it's the best class. And anyone here who know me, this will be my 6th for the whole, correct, sorry. I think of bold as the whole.
No, I do too.
Yes, thank you. Anyone knows that I love to hate bold. Bold isn't easy. It's painful. It makes you look at the things that you're not doing. It makes you realize if I only did those, how much better would my business be? And it's so true. And every single time, like I walk out with so many big nuggets of like, oh, like I shoot myself in my foot. Does anyone else do that? Like make your own, like get in your own way. Bold helps me get myself out of my way. And so I have like promised to myself that I'm going to take it every year, you know, from here till I'm not doing real estate anymore and I'm sipping wine in my cabin and someone else is doing my business for me. But until then, I'll take bold every year. Because it really, it makes you do the activities that help create that business, that help fill your pipeline. Sorry, I thought we had that video up or the graphic up already. And it makes you, it's kind of fun because it makes you just go out and like call that person you haven't talked to in a while. Like, oh, I have to make calls today. I have to do X amount of people. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna call Kathy. I haven't checked in with her. And it's amazing how like you'll have a great conversation with people and you'll end up, you know, you may get some business out of it, you may not, but in 3 months, they're going to be like, you know what? I so love that you checked in with me and my daughter's ready to buy a house. Like I have literally had that happen. And it's the best feeling. So that's one of the reasons I take it because it helps me get myself out of my own way.
And I'm Cynthia Boardwalk for those that don't know.
Sorry,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, Susan Corla here. And I've taken bold, or this will be my 7th time. I was trying to think when she said how many times, and I'm like, wait a second, I've been in real estate for 6 years. And 1 year I took it twice. I wasn't in the right space, but like it helped me. And that's what it's done every single time. And I've always go there thinking, oh, I'm gonna fix this because this is what bold's gonna do, and it ended up being something else. And the last time I took bold, it was more like a personal thing that helped me. And it really does, like it gives you what you need at the time that it is. Like, and every time you take something else, like it doesn't necessarily have to be business. A lot of times it's like, hey, am I doing right by my family? Am I doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing for my health? Because if you don't put yourself first, like how can you service everyone else? So things like that. And for me, what it does is like that mindset change that the bold brings, and also like the accountability. So I know I'll say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the contacts, I'm gonna call, but I don't have anybody else following up. So I'm like, oh, I'll just do it next week. And then it continues. And then 3 months later, I fill it in my business. And with Bold, you also feel it because then you start getting busy and you're like, oh, this is what I wasn't doing to get where I am now. And it happens every single time. And for me, taking it at the beginning of the year, it feels like I need that kick. And like Susan said, definitely there is a love-hate thing that you're like, damn it, I have to take it. And it's in your, no difference. And then, yeah. So like you get in these groups that people, I'm not sure how they're doing it, but like you get in this table and like you feel responsible for everyone else. And when you're reading your numbers and everything, like I hate losing. And I hate like if somebody did something, like I'm gonna try to like do it more. And it's a competition. It's a good competition that it gets you. Yeah, it's a friendly competition that gets you there. The other thing I know is that Robin's saying is like, yeah, it's expensive and it feels like a lot, especially when you're a new agent. But imagine, let's say you only do one closing and it's like an average of like 12 grand and like you pay off whatever it is. I mean, it's no brainer, like,
$800.
Yeah, like 800. And then you have actually it's 600. Yeah. Then you're getting reimbursed. But honestly, it's a no brainer. Like take it. And if it feels hard and you're like, okay, well, I can't do it this time, but can I do it the following? Start putting that $100, $200 on your clothing. Like you won't feel it.
Yeah.
You'll have it paid and you'll be like, okay, I have to take this. And then it will be like the love hate that we all have that we've done it.
So we love to love.
Yeah.
Love to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's fun. And to piggyback on the camaraderie factor of it too. How many of us do better when we have like a group that we're doing something, like if you're planning an event or whatever, like we all do better. And the great thing about Bold is even though there's a little bit of competitiveness there, everyone's a winner. Like there's no one who ends up being a loser in Bold at all because everyone's doing the things they need to do to make their business better. I'm still my Bold group from last year. You know, we still have chats and a couple of them who were big introverts, like scared to talk to anybody. They were comfortable sending out postcards to people they didn't know, but like talking to people they did know was terrifying for them. And I'm like, just try one person this week. Talk to one person you know. And that's been working. And one of them, I don't know if any of you guys have seen on GLG, Cousteau, who's over in Chat North. I mean, he's gonna run the world. I mean, he's an amazing kid, great energy, tons of determination, and he's knocking it out of the park. And even one of the other gals in my group who was super, super timid, she's had a couple of closings now because of Bold. But we still have a group that we chat with. You know, we've got a little text stream and it's like, hey, how's everyone doing? And like when we see wins on social media for each of them, we like, you know, kind of shout out. So you always have like a little cheerleading group too, which is really a lot of fun. So, and you have people that are going through the exact same things you are when it comes to real estate. You know, we all have the same issues with where do you get your leads? Who are you talking to? Like talk to everybody in the pool with a cocktail. Pina coladas are very, very effective.
And I will say, like, now thinking back on what you're saying, like you get to sit with a group of agents that become friends. Like you form these friendships.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like you're in different levels. And so like when you're sitting, like they try to pair you up with somebody that has been in a business for a long time doing like high production, and then you're like learning and you want to take everything, apply one thing and start with that. Cause there's just so much that is given to you. But I mean, like she's saying, like you have friends from like different groups that like that you've had, and you're like, you're still in communication, and you feel that because you went through the same pain of like what you're doing, but
It's like boot camp.
yeah.
Those that in the military, you go through the boot camp, you're friends forever, right?
Right,
Or in
right.
war, you're friends forever because you're in the trenches.
Yeah.
It's trauma bond.
Yeah. So we're making it sound like they're really actually, yeah, so.
Have had their license for less than 1 year.
What's the question?
How many in the room have had their license for less than a year? Okay, and how many of you have had a conversation with someone about real estate? And like, you're talking to them and like, you give them some information, and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, that was great information. And you realize like, I know this. And like, I remember when I first Bold, I'm thinking like, why are they even letting me in the room? Because like, I know nothing about what I'm doing. Sure, I bought and sold my own houses, but you know, fake it till you make it has always been kind of my motto, and that kind of works. It's really fun about that too in your groups, because guaranteed someone at your table is much more new than you are. And that's like a cool thing. And you've already learned something that's going to be helpful to them, but through that, you're also going to grow too, of realizing it. So it's kind of it's a cool thing.
Yeah, I want to say that the other thing, I asked Peggy Connors. Peggy Connors is our #1 individual agent in this office. She does a great business. And she took bold last quarter. And I don't have it pulled up. I'm gonna go over it next week, but she sent her highlights of why she took bold. You guys, if you looked at her income and you looked at her sales, you'd probably be like, what does she need to take bold? She took bold. And the one thing that she said was the highlight, her #1, she led with this, and that was mindset and gratitude. Every day you have to write in your journal something you're grateful for, something you did well today. And how about that? Our self-talk a lot of times is horrible. Am I right, Ann?
Absolutely.
Right? We beat ourselves up like nobody's business. Am I the only one that has a problem with that? Right? And then when you're having to, at the end of the day, say what you're grateful for and what you did well, you're tricking your brain. You're telling your brain, good, right? Be you. Scott, doggone it, people like you and you're smart enough and people like you. SNL, am I right, Roxy? For those of you who are too young, you don't know this. Ever watched the Saturday Night Live skit? I challenge you. Who is the person they need to look for? What's his name? Stuart Smalley. All right. So, I'm smart enough. I'm good enough, smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. So you know what? Bold is all about your mindset, because we all need mindset shift, right? Everybody give these guys,
One of my nuggets I took away from, I don't know, probably 4 bowls ago is starting your day with gratitude too. You know how you can talk yourself into a day? Yesterday, my husband started playing music at a really early hour and I've been up late. That did not start my day well, but every day, not at all. Nor his day well. I was up till 3 in the morning working on thing and I was grumpy. Anyway, but what I do every day, and this is something I learned from Bold, is I go out in the morning with my dogs on the front porch. And literally, it's their like little thing to go see who's been in the yard or whatever. And I say, doggies, it's going to be a great day. What are we going to do today? And I literally talk myself into a great day every day, whether or not somebody's been playing music too early in the morning or not. And I tell you, it really works. But that's probably my favorite nugget that I've ever taken away from Bold.
Yeah.
Is because it's part of my daily routine. And I feel off if I don't have a chance to do that. So.
Love that. Cynthia.
And for me, I will say, after I took Bold, that was the fastest I kept the following year. It was just like what propelled my business to the other, because I didn't have a close until like 6 months after. I was doing rentals, anything I could get my hands to, and then like I took Bold in October, and like ICAP with the following year, it was done.
And was on ALC the next year too.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So do it.
Do it.
Do it.
If
you want to talk one-on-one with any of us, feel free to. Yeah. I know it's intimidating.
Right, so it starts this Thursday. It's over at, it is over at, where do we have that? Yeah. Okay. All right. It's over at the Holiday Inn, right over here off of Holcomb Ridge. It's over there this Thursday. It is free. Okay, it is free this Thursday, January 19th, 8:30 to 2:30. Lunch is provided every single time. So lunch is provided. This guy, Scott Toombs, he is hilarious. He is not your high pressure coach. We have pressure coaches, right? Where it's like, we need your number, we know you need this table, it needs to be quiet, right? No. Scott Toombs is funny. He is all about you doing what you can do to move your business forward, right? And also on the back, yes. Here are your discounts. You get a rebate of $400 payable in 2 installments of $200 after each closing for binding contract written between this Thursday and April 19th. Okay, so let me just give you a clue. Write this down, y'all. Don't come back 2 years from now and say, I never got that credit, but that doesn't work. You have to tell Lee when you put your pay at closing that this was a bold one, so she can give you that credit. Cool? You gotta say it at the beginning. Okay, ALC. ALC, y'all come up here. Everybody that was at the ALC retreat, everybody that was there, come on up. Come on up, grab, you don't have to just grab a chair or whatever. This is the majority of your ALC. Roxy and Ashley, y'all stand up. Yeah. The work that you guys did, and this one with her social, I think her social committee was like, yes. And social media and all kinds of stuff. Ashley's awesome. Okay, Grove and so John Serrano, you guys, tell us. Secrets. I just got into the Red Shirts program for Maps Coach. Council exists to serve you. This is what they do. Agent Leadership Council serves you. Excuse me. Not sure. All right, so you can grab chairs if you want to, but so every year, this is not all of our ALC. We're missing Mark Ellsworth. We're missing Adam had to leave for a phone call.
Coming around the corner. Swooping around the side.
Got 13 people on ALC this year. Dustin is out somewhere. So you guys, every year, Andy Peters brings in somebody that we can learn from. He has brought in like mega producers from all over the US. Well, this year he brought in Gene Rivers. I already mentioned a little bit about Gene Rivers earlier today. This guy, I don't know, Scott, do you remember how many rentals he had?
At least 36.
36 rentals. He's all in for real estate wealth. He is all in. So he laid out, he talked about wealth the second day, and he talked about 6 tools for success in the first day. And you guys, it was like a stinking business plan rolled out and with details and everything, right? It was amazing. So, and I have to say that Miss Twee Burchett had the best amazing note. About you need your notes. Can I get my notes? I will be on today and the photos.
If she starts, we have nothing.
Yeah.
God, you just like bring it out.
So who wants to start out? What's your favorite? Deborah, go for it.
Data mining. So we always think about our database and we talk to them, but I mean, just knowing everything about them. So we talk about birthdays, we talk about anniversaries, we talk about kids, we talk about events, graduation, and so on. But one of the things we talked about in data mining was, how do you know if they're ready to invest? So knowing all of your small business owners, and do they rent in the building or do they own their own building? Because how many dentists or whatever business owners would be becoming so wealthy if they also owned a place that they rented in, even if they could rent out pieces. But if we don't have this information, we don't even know to have these conversations. So data mining was a huge.
And they don't
huge part
know
of
that
it.
we could potentially help them.
Don't.
Right.
Can I just sit down and take notes?
Yep.
You have a lot more.
Well, okay, so, historically, the business has been for every 12 people, you get 2 transactions. With the invasion of the web, and we're letting everybody look at the web, and we're not keeping in touch with our clients, now you're only getting 1 transaction for every 10 people you know. So piggyback off what Deborah said, data mining, but know where your clients are. Every time you have a client that has a baby, somebody's going to buy or sell a house within the next year. So know who your database is. The largest segment of the population that's doing bankruptcy is 62 and older. So know your senior clients, what's going on with them. So they may not necessarily be going to an assisted living. They may need to downsize. They may need to totally sell and move in with their kids. So you really need to have a system for every segment of the business you want to do. Not just a buyer's guide or a seller's guide. Investment, rent, everything. So that you can data mine like she was talking about.
Y'all write that down. If you have a baby, 1 year, within a year, they're buying a house.
Before or after.
Before or after.
The studies have shown the.
And I,
Tell you,
right.
keep in touch with your young people.
And I can attest to that. That recently happened. My last 2 closings ago is a young family having their 3rd baby. They were in a 2-bedroom townhome. I mean, they had to, but because I kept in touch with them, it was no question that they would contact. Yeah. She's due today.
One of the things that like you're saying with the rentals, and I remember like that King, it was like super clear, like I'm buying my 2nd investment property. We're closing next week. What he said is like, we create our stories by creating our own opportunities. And that to me was like, dang, like that is true. Like whatever we want to do, we got to go out there and do it. And the first day, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us felt the same way. Like I felt beat up. I was like, I'm not worth it. Like I can't do anything right. What he was saying, it's true. He was like, is whatever you're doing, like that, you're not like doing it. You don't have anybody else to blame but yourself, So if you're not doing it, it's you. So I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna go home. But then the following day, he laid out everything of what we needed to do. And what we should be asking as realtors is when we go and see a property, it's like, can I buy it? What is the return of investment? Like, look at all the numbers and stuff, because you're also could be a customer. And if we're trying to create wealth for our clients, we should start doing it ourselves too. Like, it's just like the best way that you can show your clients that you know what you're doing too, like by you preaching or doing what you're preaching kind of thing. So that was a big aha, and like I'm living it and I'm excited for it and continue to teach my clients for that.
Why do you think most agents don't buy investment properties? What's the #1 reason why we don't do it?
Fear.
Fear.
And this is interesting. And when Jean asked that, I said money, because I don't have an investment property. That's something I want to do, but I'm paying for college, I'm paying for a wedding, money. And he was like, he shot me down in a hot minute, in a very nice way. I felt, called out, but not beat up. When he said wrong, he said, have you been to the bank? Have you applied for an investment loan? Have you even tried? You don't know that money is what's holding you back. It's fear. It's fear. It's fear of, oh, what if I can't do it? What if I can't afford to do it?
To add on to that, what she's talking about, the investment property. So if you're running your business like a business, you have all these different bank accounts. You have your tax, you have your operating fund, you have blah, 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 blah. He added one. I was like, oh my God, I never thought of that. So every closing, you take X amount, whatever you do with your business, and set it in your investment fund. Well, he called it a wealth account.
And
to
he
start
said-
buying property.
And he said, don't make it a percentage of your commission. come up with whatever the set amount is. And the reason being is that is predictable and you can forecast, okay, I'm gonna need X amount of dollars. And if for every closing, I'm putting X amount in, I know I need X amount of closings, you know, you're working backwards basically. So that was interesting because I would think, oh, I'll put
do a
a percentage. No, it's a set amount because that is predictable.
Well, the other,
Oh, I was just gonna say, the other thing that he talked about in terms of wealth and investment is that we look at what you're spending up front. And he said, stop looking at that because investors say, oh, I'm not gonna pay that much up front for it, but it's your return on the 80%, not the 20% that you do up front, the cash flow of the numbers. But that's what we all think about, because I don't have enough money up front, or no, I'm not gonna pay this much above what the seller is asking. And that's how we lose out on opportunities and don't have the wealth building scenario. Also, he said, for your college students, when your children are born, if you buy an investment property, that pays for their college and they don't have to have that. He said that he has 4 kids that went to college for 24 years.
Yeah, two children in college consistently for
24 years.
And they got a fancy.
Nothing.
Yeah, and
Zero.
along those same lines, one of the things he said, if you have children ages 5 and under, mine are well above that, but if you have younger kids, you should own investment property for each of those kids for that reason. And he laid out the formula and exactly how and why it works out. And, you know, I think of you younger folks or, you know,
It's never too late.
it's never too late. Like, just getting a later start and I'm gonna do it, but I think of the opportunities missed because I didn't have this knowledge. So, you know, take advantage if you're younger, like just rearrange your priorities and learn some of this because it's wealth building. It's one thing to have a paycheck and make good commission. I make good money. I'm able to live the life I want to lead. I've been able to put my kids through school, but I haven't been building wealth. Those are two completely different things. And wealth is what gives you freedom. I mean, dude, I don't want to be selling houses when I'm 75, you know? So if you're not building wealth, you don't have a plan in place to take care of your lifestyle after the fact.
And if you become something, you became disabled, whatever.
Right.
Absolutely.
Or you have family members that
Absolutely.
don't
You have
have
to
wealth
care-
in place.
Or you have to care for it, yeah.
Right.
the other thing that with the down payment, a lot of times, well, I don't have that amount, or we're living where it's like closing, I'm waiting for the next closing or whatnot. Think of it that you can use your commission to apply towards the down payment. And right now, the way the market is, we know we're able to negotiate with the sellers to pay for closing costs. As an investor, though, you can only get up to 2% of closing costs paid by the seller, but still that helps you. And it's like less money that you need to bring to the table. And yet, he talked about how he did it, where it came back and they ended up paying him money. So think of that if it's not listed, if there's not another agent involved, like you're getting, there's so many opportunities that we have to take advantage and get your investment property. That's how I did the one that we bought in October. With the commission and put a little money from here or there, we made it happen, and we are cash flowing about 1,200, which his limit was 200.
Wow.
So I felt like, oh my God, at first we were scared, and now it's like, okay, I feel good.
Right.
Yeah. So
Crying anymore. So.
Means, minimum was
$200.
and he said if it breaks even, he was still okay with that, as long as he was in a school or a place where it was nice, that it would appreciate. Because he's like, I have this property where I was thinking, it's like, I sold it for the same amount I bought it, but at the same time, like he made 300,000 at the end of that because somebody else paid for it.
It wasn't so much, we all focus on property appreciation,
Yeah.
we focus on cash flow.
Cash
It's totally different. Because as long as the rent increases and the parameters that you have to ensure that the rent appreciate, then you can buy a property at break even initially. And you're not so freaked out about how much that costs, and that helps the conversation you're having with investors, right? No way, John.
So I don't know if you mentioned this group, but one time, I saw him before, so to help release the fear,
he kind of used an example of you bought a house for $100,000, you broke even the whole time, you didn't have any cash flow. That's nothing you want to do. You sold it 5 years from now for $100,000. Did you make any money?
Yes, because they paid down.
Yeah. The worst scenario, he gave you, or what could be one, there's more scenarios, but in this scenario where you're not making any money, you didn't sell for any appreciation, still making money.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
And-
right.
All right, let's go to the back row here. Adam, we'll start with you.
Biggest things for me, yeah, he was talking about data mining and how the MRA numbers have changed from 12 to 2.
Yeah.
To 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Because 12 to 2, you get one piece of business and then one referral. And now it's 1 to 10. And when you have a sphere-based business like I do, I'm like, I need to expand my sphere. Yeah. If it's gonna be a lower conversion on that. So that was really interesting, and the different time cycles, like first time home buyer, moving up, second move up, growing family, downsizing. And just kind of being in the flow with your database to know like where they are in each of the processes. Another thing that he said that really stood out was, the market's down 25-30% as compared to last year. And so you really just to keep growing or to even stay where you were, you really need to increase your effort by the amount that the market's down. So if the market's down 25%, you need to be doing 25% more lead gen, prospecting, marketing, whatever you're doing. Just to, because it's kind of a weird feeling in the market right now when things kind of slowing down. But if we increase our efforts, we're, opportunities.
At that point, we're not subject to the market.
That's right. So we have a lot more control that way. And then the last thing was you can't do 5-figure work and expect a 6-figure income.
That was what, yeah.
Which was great. I mean, having a contract to close person has really taken a lot off my plate as far as paperwork, which I really hate doing. And I'm so reluctant to let other people do stuff, but she's way better than I am at it. And it's fair, I don't miss the money at the end of the day, just paying her per transaction, so.
Well, and he said, if you're doing 5-figure work, if you want a 6-figure income and you're doing 5-figure work, you're an idiot. Now, this is a guy who's a multi-millionaire who laid out these plans for us on wealth building, and the LC is going to have a wealth committee, right? And at 1 o'clock, Aubrey has brought back the Cash Flow Club. It's going to happen every month, and it's going to be in person. So there's going to be, and KW created Wealth, the Wealth Network. So there's going to be talk about wealth and going into all this stuff in depth every month, probably a couple of times a month.
Yeah. Carrie, what you got?
I would say to kind of tap on to what everyone else has said. I mean, I'm gonna be very honest. I don't have one yet, and it's been a scary point, and I'm trying to get my husband on board. Yes. So, but the biggest thing too is I think he got me to feel a little more comfortable and not so like, this is a lot of math and I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not doing this. So I felt a lot better, but also too, the thing I thought about the most, because I literally just had a conversation with someone right before we went. I helped him buy back in 2020, and he's like, okay, I'm getting married now, and we're gonna, you're gonna sell her place, you sell my place, we're gonna do your place. And the more I dug into after them, like, no, his place is brand new. We have to make that for investment. We just have to.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I mean, think about the conversations you have with your clients, when they come to you and I want to sell this, what are they going to remember years from now? Okay, yeah, Carrie sold my house 10 years ago. Carrie told me to keep this as investment property, and look how much my wealth has grown. What are they going to remember you for best? And so, when I thought about that,
making a commission because you.
exactly, because I'm trying to look out for their best. Exactly. So that to me was like, okay, this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah. Very good. How about you, Scott?
So for me, it was his second tool. Well, there was so much.
Yes.
But,
Oh my gosh.
But in fact, the title of his thing, which was a brand new teaching that he's never done, is called 6 Tools for Ultimate Success, Thinking and Acting to Thrive. And the second tool was called Time, and the subtitle was Block and Honor Time. And he said that you don't need more than 6 hours a day or 40 to 50 hours a week to make 36 transactions a year. Anybody, you don't need more than 6 hours. If you're taking more than 6 hours, you're doing something wrong. You're focusing on the wrong things. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is that, and I don't know why it just hit me at my age, but it was, you cannot make up time. So somebody was earlier saying, oh, well, you know, I didn't make my calls this week. I'll do them next week. Oh, you were talking about that. That's one of the things we'll do when you're not accountable, is that, oh, well, I'll just catch up next week. You can't catch up, because if next week
It's over.
you do last week's work, then you didn't do what you're supposed to be doing right now. And the other thing to tie with that is what Gary Keller had said that Aubrey shared earlier, which was, one of the points was accountability to the undisciplined person feels like punishment, which the first few times I took bold, it felt like punishment and I hated it. But this last one with Scott Toombs was unlike any of the other bowls I'd taken. And it was all about mindset, and it was not pounding that you have to hit these numbers. It was about your mindset and growth. And the other flip side is that although it feels like punishment to the undisciplined, to the disciplined person, accountability feels like freedom. And that's just so true.
Can I add one thing to what Scott said?
Yeah.
Because that tool, I really highlighted it and it convicted me, if you will. That 6 hours every day should be fully accounted for before your day even begins.
Oh, right.
And that is something that I really struggle with. I may be working 6 hours, 8 hours, 2 hours, but it's kind of an often willy-nilly. It is not planned and accounted for. So when you got to wake up knowing this tomorrow, this 6 hours, this is what's going to be accomplished during those 6 hours. And that's the honoring piece of blocking that 6 hours. So to me, that was game changing, because if you think about, and I know it's basic and it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but if you think about 6 hours, that's not a long time. 6 hours a day of work, what? That's no big deal. But you've got to honor it and you've got to do it. And so that's my biggest takeaway.
Did he break
Really?
those 6 hours down?
No, I mean, it's your
No,
6
but
hours.
relating to the 6 hours, number one, yes, the night before, you better plan your 6 hours. The people that wake up in the morning and just say, what am I doing today, are just gone. That was one. And then 1 hour of the 6 hours should be on your wealth.
Oh, yeah.
Right. 1 hour should be on your wealth. I don't care if you're sitting down and reading the whole book, the flip book. I don't care if you're going out and getting a credit card to establish credit on your LLC. So that you now have credit when you go to get a mortgage or something on a rental property. 1 hour a day is on your wealth building.
Oh, and he said that if you time block something for, let's say, 1 hour, your wealth building, and today you're gonna do your LLC and say, I'm gonna do this in 1 hour. If you're not done in that 1 hour, you stop. It's too late, too bad. You're done, move on to the next thing. And tonight, you can look back and reflect back and say, why didn't I get that done? What did I do wrong? Did I not block enough time, or did I not spend that 1 hour properly? Yeah, no, oh my God.
On that note, he did specify that when you're in growth mode, it's additional time.
Yeah.
But however, he also structured that and said that if you are running a week of maximum 40 to 50 hours, and if you're exceeding that amount, you're really robbing your family, robbing yourself, your spiritual life, somewhere along your life, the time is coming. And in that for regeneration, one of the things that I love that he said was like he tried with his team to see what worked. And they decided to implement a 2 shift per week from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and another day from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Which is a great idea, even if
Yes.
you don't have a team,
Yeah.
just swap out your lead gen time. Because people are working during the day. So if you go
3 to 9, you're catching people that are working. And then those that aren't working, maybe you're stay-at-home moms, you're catching them in the morning, so.
But you
Um,
don't have to leave Jen for 6 hours.
No,
Don't worry.
no, not at all. All right, so it is 12:35. I want to hear from Rana and I want to hear from Twee, and then we're gonna let you guys go. So Rana, what you got?
Yeah, so we had a lot of nuggets and already a lot of stuff has been said and we have heard it. But the first tool that you mentioned was yourself. So business is important, but if you are not in a good state of mind, you don't feel you are already like able to give to others, you cannot do that job. So initially, just make sure you are in a good good position mentally, physically, and at all levels to be able to do everything else.
Pay yourself first.
Yeah, and that one of the things he mentioned is like relationship. Okay, our database can give us what we need, but we have to pour into them. And we have to look at all aspects of their life. So it's not only buying a first house, updating or downsizing, it's also like, okay, do they need a vacation home? Do they need an investment home? Do they need what other kind of business we can help them with? So we have to be open to see at each phase of their life, what value can you provide? So we are always coming from contribution.
Yeah, that's so good. All right, finish us up, Twee.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, since I'm the last one, y'all hit everything that's on the notes, but I do want to say the thing that resonated with me the most is, and Cynthia kind of touched on it, was the accountability piece. He talked about, we play so many different roles as humans in general, husbands, wives, sisters, brothers, mother, but we have to be the best version of ourselves for that role. So if you're going to be a committed relationship and you're married, why not wake up? It's a choice to wake up and be happy and to pour into your partner. Like he was talking about how he knew he was going on vacation, or on this trip, not vacation, but so he would leave little notes under his wife's pillow so she'll find it later, just so that she knows that he's thinking about her even when he's not with her. In fact, I think it inspired Sam Jackson to send flowers to his wife while he was on that retreat. But that's just one role, but at the end of the day, we are accountable for our actions. So when we don't see results in something, we have to really truly reflect on ourselves and ask ourselves, are we doing the work? Are we doing the things that are going to produce the businesses that we want and the lives we want to lead, and life by design and all that? So, and all of the things that they mentioned.
Did you guys get some good stuff? Yeah. I mean, now you see why I wish that every single one of you could have been there. Oh my gosh, it was just, and we could probably go on for another hour. We could have done the whole team meeting.
Just email those.
With this. I mean, so we're gonna actually be teaching on this. It's gonna be woven throughout the classes and team meetings and stuff like that, because, when you get taught by a master, you don't keep it for yourself, right? We share it. And he's a master. He is an absolute master. So I know every one of us felt privileged. So we do have a couple of other ALC members. You're going to hear more from them by the end of January, because they're going to be inviting you to be on their. So anyway, I'm so excited that you're going to be so excited about inviting people in your committees. So we're going to talk about that. But can you get your 2023 ALC? Thank you guys. Thank you for sharing your nuggets. I just so appreciate that. Real quick, we got some awards. I want to just acknowledge a couple of people here. So can I have that screen back, Raven? Thank you. Okay, monthly December 2022 awards. Everybody, Jake, Melanie, Anu, Susan, Cynthia. Well done. Monthly $1 Million Club, the team, Reardon Wyatt Real Estate, did a $1 million. And how about the $1 Million Club, Sarah Sloan, Team Kimberly Curtin, Team Southern Equity, Atlanta Property Professionals, and Red Team Realty. Well done. Our nine cappers, everybody loves to cap because we get what? 100%. Dan, Melody, Jim, Fabiola, Sarah, Christy, well done. First closing, Duval Duran, Selena. Who's not in here is Sheena Batista. Well done, Sheena. right, I'm gonna leave this up and I don't know how long that is. I'll send it out. I'll send it out. I've kept you guys almost 15 minutes beyond, but did you get some good stuff?
Yes.
All right, you guys go out, make a great day, make a great week to see you guys. Stay for Aubrey's class at 1 o'clock. We're well.
It is.
Oh, my.